What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to get the transmission off of the frame so we can start getting this thing ready for the scrapyard. Back out here with the truck, our goal today is to get the drive shaft out and the transmission off. If I can get the rear end out, that's going to kind of be a bonus for us. But this part here should be relatively easy, right? Here along the frame, you can see where we have our transmission cable that we took from the cabin, and it runs down here to the side of the transmission. This other line runs up along the transmission, around the back of the engine, and up here. We're gonna have to remove this. I'm gonna use a flathead screwdriver to pry this little clip out here. With that out of the way, we can now access underneath the cover, which on this truck, it was two 7mm bolts, and then the cable just slides off of the nub. And once you depress the side tabs, it slides right out. For the transmission cooling lines, I really wasn't worried about these, so I just went ahead and turned on to where they connect and snapped them off rather than going from the actual fitting itself. On the exhaust, this 16mm wrench fit on it perfectly to take this one side off. However, the other side didn't go nearly as well, and we had to go ahead and use the saws off. To get the transmission itself off, was 5 15mm bolts along the top side here of the transmission bell housing. On the bottom, it was 3 13mm, and then you had these two 15mm nuts right here holding it back on the transmission brace. Got a little bit more of the oil in here I need to get out. Whew. There's a lot of oil in here. And it's hot outside. I'm almost certain that I probably jacked up my back. Okay, we have the transmission off of it. This thing looks like it's in pretty good shape. It should though. It's only got like 75,000 miles on it, I think. So I'm gonna put that up for sale on Facebook along with the drive shaft. I'm gonna get the torque converter off of here in a second as well. And I'll probably put that up for sale. Then that way we can get in here, hopefully with the engine stand, and just mount it up in here. I have a low sitting engine stand, so my hope is that I can bolt this up, then take out this or cut it out the way things have been going, and then just kind of slide it back and get it out of here. Fingers crossed. To get the torque converter off, you're gonna have to use what was on this truck, 4 15mm nuts. Next to it, you can see the drain plug. Once you start pulling these nuts off, what you're gonna have to do is spin the torque converter. As you can see up here, we have another nut. That's the only way to get to them is down here at the bottom. Once those are unbolted, you can go ahead and slide the thing right on off. And then for me, these flywheel bolts were 17mm. Got to run to the store real quick and grab some bolts so the engine stand mount can go onto here and we can get the engine off. Also, side note, as I was removing the phone from there, it dropped into there. So if you have an iPhone 11 and you were wondering if it would survive a dip in some oil, yep. Here on this truck, we have this removable cross member. What we have is 15mm bolts. On the back, it's a 18mm nut. After you do that, this comes out. So you got 4 bolts, 4 nuts. This removes, and then you get access down here to this bolt here and this one here, which will then remove this cross section here, which was the transmission brace.
Well, wait, don't go too high because it's not enough.
See if it'll fit down.
Throw a rock under.
Grab the brick that was there. It was behind us.
It should be around this.
Behind the wheel. In the back, there should be a silver pin. Look at the silver pin.
It's in. Right
It's a
in.
silver pin. Come back here and hold the truck. I'll go inside. Okay, so we have the engine stand here on the back of the engine. Just need to remove the 2 bolts here at the bottom, and that should drop it away from the frame. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Hopefully no one dies. That's why you have the better tools. I think it just snapped it off because I saw it spinning in the other direction. Either way, it works,
No,
right?
I think it took it off.
You did?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That was easy. Well, we can't give you any job.
I know.
Don't touch it with your hand. Just flip it underneath.
Flip it. Flip it.
Just, can you?
You can get it from this angle over here.
Just stop, just, you're gonna have to hold the plate with one hand. Why do you,
Push it
what?
to the side, it's already off.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, we've given you a few ways to fix this right now, and you won't listen to any of us.
I got this.
There's really no need to do that.
There.
Okay. All right, yeah, you can leave that. It's okay.
You're welcome.
Thanks to a little help from Gabby, we now have the frame fully on the vehicle and the wheels off of it. I might do something with those. I know that the tires are good, the wheels are good. So here we have our frame. I decided I'm not gonna reuse this rear end for anything I got coming up. I put it up for sale on Facebook. Nobody's reached out to me, so this is going to the scrapyard with the rest of the frame. As you guys can see, we ended up having to cut out some sections here, made it a little bit easier getting it around the engine as opposed to lifting it up and over. So she is just kind of sitting here a little bit on my trailer, but nothing to really worry about. We just unbolted the tires, wiggled them off, dropped into place. It is now starting to rain outside, and I'm going to get inside. I do know that the phone will survive some oil, but don't want to give it too much. That does it for this episode. Make sure to go ahead and give us a big old like. YouTube seemed to like that for some reason. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're at it too. That way you know you're not going to miss any of the great stuff that we have coming up. And go ahead and hit the bell notification. That way YouTube can do all the work for you, notify you when we got something coming up. That way you don't have to always type in Grassroots Self-Service Garage anytime you want to find any of our stuff. In the next episode, we're going to be finding out which RTR is going to be leaving the family and why, and getting it ready for the dealership. So until the next one, thank you guys so much. Peace.